Now, no matter what the government does to try to stop these dangerous illegal channel crossings, because they are dangerous and many people, including probably hundreds that we don't know about, have died attempting them. No matter what the government tries, a load of so-called well-meaning people pop up, many with vested interests, to tell us in this country what wicked, evil people we are to dare to put a stop to this. We've tried everything. We've negotiated with the French and given them a whole load of cash. That hasn't worked. Priti Patel suggested turning the boats back. Well, that went down like a lead balloon. Our own border force weren't comfortable about doing this or even finding a way as to how this could be done safely. Even Prince Charles apparently had something to say about it. Yesterday, it was reported that in private, he referred to the plan to send migrants to Rwanda as appalling. And now the United Nations Refugee Agency, or UNHCR, whom we gave £58 million funding to last year, are backing legal action to block the Rwanda policy. And you couldn't make this up. That, alongside a load of lawyers and refugee charities working together to block the first flight, is making a mockery of this latest idea. I'm beginning to think that there's something else going on. The people traffickers must be rubbing their hands with glee. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a hand in funding these legal challenges. So why are people so dead set against Rwanda? What is wrong with it? Would they be happier if we sent migrants to, say, America? Well, let's compare and contrast the two. People say that Rwanda has a terrible record for human rights abuse, so let's compare its use of capital punishment against the US. The Nation Master website says that Rwanda is ranked 17th in the world. America comes top. It's first. If we look at the murder rate, Rwanda comes 43rd, but the US is ranked 9th. And as for guns per 100 residents, Rwanda ranks 160th in the world, next to America, which, you guessed it, ranks first. Frankly, I'd feel safer in Rwanda. So what's behind this fear? Well, it's ignorant, isn't it? And, in my view, a level of racism. People looking on at Rwanda as though it is hell on earth, an archaic civilization of Neolithic individuals. But they haven't done their research, have they? Rwanda is part of the Commonwealth and is one of the few African countries that has agreed to the international conventions and continental frameworks that protect the human rights of all citizens. That's including the UN Declaration on Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity and the UN Report on Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity LGBTQ populations. Is also a signatory to the 2011 United Nations statement condemning violence against LGBT people and has joined 9 other African countries to support LGBT rights. Natalie Elphickle, the Conservative MP for Dover, said channel crossings put lives at risk in the hands of dangerous criminal gangs. It is the compassionate common sense and right thing to do to tackle these crossings and bring them to an end. Ian Duncan-Smith said this of the UNHCR, who are backing this latest challenge. He called it none of their business, and that's the polite way of putting it. Then he went on to say that Australia did it many times. The Danes talked about it. It is quite peculiar that the UNHCR out of nowhere pops up and decides on the basis that it's the UK that we are breaching our obligations. We are not. He said they should ask themselves who is breaching obligations when people are dying trying to cross the channel. So, whilst you're on this tour of objecting to every idea under the sun, spare a thought for the people living in Linton on Ouse who are about to see their peaceful community treble in size practically overnight. If the computer says no at every turn, then move them into your backyard.